To the bottomless, gaping pit of insecurity you call a soul.
Yeah. Weird.
Eventually, probably soon, the world will recognize you for the pitiful disappointment you are. You are not worthy of my respect. You are not a god. You are simply bad product.
No, I've been getting a lot of questions about, like, how do I feel? I feel amazing.
I never want it to come off as me being ungrateful for the opportunities I have.
So yeah, my agent would have punched me in the face if I was up there saying some stupid what an investment.
Okay, it's great. I'm honored. I don't know why I sound so angry right now. I'm honored. Am I a psychopath?
In a shocking development that's rocked the entertainment world, Disney's highly anticipated Snow White live-action reboot has become a case study in how quickly a beloved project can spiral into chaos.
And the poster said, how many billions will Snow White cost Disney? Well, now we know. That Disney will lose hundreds of millions of dollars. Now,
What began as another promising addition to Disney's live-action collection has transformed into one of the most controversial productions in the studio's recent history. When Disney first announced Rachel Zegler as their new Snow White, the reaction seemed cautiously positive. Fresh off her breakout role in West Side Story, Zegler brought undeniable talent and a fresh face to the iconic princess.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. I watched it for the first time in probably 16, 17 years.
With Gal Gadot joining as the evil queen, Disney appeared to have assembled star power that could carry this reimagining to box office glory. But the first cracks appeared almost immediately. Online discussions erupted over Zegler's Latina heritage, playing a character whose name literally references her skin being white as snow.
An uproar about her being cast as Snow White because she is not Caucasian, she is a Latina, she is half Colombian, and so people were like, why were you cast in the first place? We just had a black Little Mermaid, now we're having a Latina Snow White, and she is literally called Snow.
While some celebrated the diverse casting, others questioned whether Disney was undermining the very essence of the character's description. There was already an uproar about her being cast as Snow White because she is not Caucasian. She is Latina, half Colombian, one industry insider noted. People were saying, we just had a black Little Mermaid, now we're having a Latina Snow White, and she is literally called Snow White. Yet this initial controversy would soon be overshadowed by something far more divisive: Ziegler's own comments about the original film. What truly unleashed the whirlwind was a series of interviews where Ziegler appeared to criticize the 1937 animated classic. In clips that quickly went viral, she made statements that many fans interpreted as dismissive of the beloved original. It's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love.
saying that her version of Snow White, well, the princess will not be saved by the prince. It's no longer 1937, idiots.
She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be. In another interview, Zegler admitted, "I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. I watched it for the first time in probably 16 or 17 years.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. I watched it for the first time in probably 16, 17 years.
The backlash was swift and fierce. Longtime Disney fans felt Zegler was belittling a groundbreaking film that had enchanted generations. Critics asked why someone who seemingly disliked the source material would accept the role in the first place. I feel like if you are taking on the most iconic Disney role ever, genuinely like this was the most prolific Disney film, I feel like you should kind of have some sort of reverence," remarked one entertainment commentator. Social media exploded with reactions. "She is crapping on the original production. I was scared of it. Oh, it was so weird. It was a stalker. Like, come on." As the controversy intensified, Disney executives reportedly scrambled to contain the situation.
She is crapping on the original production. I was scared of it. Oh, it was so weird. It was a stalker. Like, I feel like if you are taking on the most iconic Disney role ever, genuinely, like this was the most prolific Disney film, I feel like you should kind of have some sort of reverence.
According to industry insiders, the studio began canceling select promotional appearances featuring Zegler in an effort to quell the growing uproar. There was an in-depth piece, like a behind-the-scenes piece, talking about how they've been in a full meltdown about this girl for a couple of years now. One source revealed, Bob Iger and other top Disney leaders found themselves in the uncomfortable position of defending a production that hadn't even been released yet. The backlash represented more than just criticism of one actress. It signaled a deeper concern about Disney's approach to its classic properties. Our primary purpose is to entertain, Iger stated in what many viewed as an attempt to redirect the conversation. And where we can entertain responsibly, obviously we try to do that. We try to have a positive impact on the world. But the first thing we need to do is entertain.
Our primary purpose is to entertain, and where we can entertain responsibly, obviously we try to do that. We try to have a positive impact on the world, but the first thing we need to do is entertain.
Adding fuel to the controversy was news that the remake had drastically altered core elements of the Snow White story. Rather than the traditional explanation for Snow White's name, skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, hair as black as ebony, the 2025 film reportedly focused on her survival of a treacherous snowstorm. Zegler repeatedly defended these narrative choices, insisting that the 1937 version no longer resonated with modern audiences. The entire film is about a love story, critics pointed out. That's what the point of the film is.
Yeah, the entire film's about a love story. It's about a love story because that's what the point of the film is. And I'm sorry that chivalry in a man pursuing you is now deemed as stalking, which now it's kind of making sense why men are opting out of the dating scene.
Others defended the changes. You don't particularly see people who look like me or are me playing roles like that, Zegler had noted. For some viewers, these updates represented necessary evolution for Disney's storytelling, but many longtime fans felt the reimagining went too far, stripping away the very elements that made Snow White a timeless fairy tale. The debate intensified. Was this a worthy modernization or an unnecessary revision of a beloved classic? As if the public relations storm wasn't enough, reports began circulating about significant production challenges. Industry insiders confirmed that extensive reshoots had been ordered, pushing the film's premiere into late 2025, months later than initially planned. Even more intriguing were persistent rumors about tension between Zegler and co-star Gal Gadot. While details remained vague, speculation grew that their reported friction complicated the already pressured reshoot schedule.
And she did it and got like millions of views, and they were like, good job, Rachel. And then she, like minutes later, followed it up with, and never forget, free Palestine. This is just like a few months after 10/7.
Though details of their disagreement remained hazy, speculation held that their clash complicated some of the late-stage reshoots. Noted one Hollywood reporter, the alleged discord between the two leads only added to concerns about the film's creative direction. Early test screenings reportedly drew mixed feedback. Some viewers praised the effort to weave in contemporary themes, while others labeled the movie's tone as confusing, according to sources familiar with the screenings. Even after script changes and reshoots, industry watchers questioned whether the final product could overcome its troubled development. The Snow White controversy quickly transcended discussions about just one film. It became symbolic of larger cultural debates about how beloved properties should evolve in changing times. Supporters of the new approach argued that fairy tales must adapt to remain relevant. Those who believed in constant revision to mirror societal progress saw it as a timely leap forward, explained one cultural commentator. On the opposite side, traditionalists countered that certain stories achieve beloved status precisely because of their timeless qualities. Many admirers of the 1937 film felt slighted, interpreting Zegler's comments as disdainful of the deep affection so many held for the original's simplicity, noted another observer. The controversy highlighted the challenging balance Disney faces. How do you update classic stories for modern sensibilities without alienating longtime fans who cherish the originals? For Disney executives, the Snow White situation presented more than just a PR challenge. It raised serious questions about the studio's remake strategy. With billions invested in reimagining its classic catalog, Disney needed these projects to succeed financially. Bob Iger hinted that the company would have to reevaluate its content strategy after encountering multiple hurdles in 2024 and 2025, reported one industry analyst. Industry observers viewed Snow White as a litmus test for how much Disney might continue modifying its legacy properties going forward.
canceled multiple premiere events, like the premiere of Snow White in London. That's a big deal. They canceled that entirely. They scaled back the European premiere. They shoved her into the far high hills of Spain.
The stakes were particularly high given Snow White's historical significance. The 1937 original wasn't just another animated film. It was Disney's first full-length animated feature, the groundbreaking achievement that established the studio's reputation for magical storytelling. Historically, Snow White represented more than just another animated film for the studio. Its 1937 debut had ushered in a new era of feature-length animation, establishing a benchmark for cinematic storytelling, explained a film historian. Revisiting such a foundational piece of popular culture magnified the risks involved. Despite viral rumors claiming Disney canceled the Snow White reboot following demands to fire Rachel Zegler, the reality is more complex. The film remains in production, though significantly delayed, and Zegler continues in the lead role despite the controversies. What's truly behind this situation isn't simply fan backlash against one actress, but rather the culmination of Disney's challenging relationship with its audience in recent years. The studio has faced growing criticism across multiple projects, with some viewers feeling disconnected from the company's new creative direction. This broader tension between Disney's modernization efforts and audience expectations has created fertile ground for rumors and speculation. While the film hasn't been canceled, the controversy has undoubtedly impacted production timelines and marketing strategies.